Welcome to Camp Cookout Adventures. We are in Dartmoor for a night's camp. I'm joined by good friends of mine, Sharon and Kenton, for an overnight camp.
Hi.
We're starting off in Belstone, a little village on the north side of Dartmoor by Oakhampton, and we are venturing out onto the moor. Going to find a nice place for a camp tonight and have a cookout. See how it goes. It's the night before the camp and the rain is hammering down on the top of the studio roof. So hopefully the heavens empty out all of that rain and tomorrow we get a fantastic day. But we are going hiking on the moors, so we need an overnight loadout which is going to be lightweight and only carry the bare essentials of what we're going to need. And that's a really tricky job, especially when you own as many toys and gadgets and cool things as I do with camping related gear. The very basic setup. We're going to be using the Vango Banshee 2-man tent. It says it's a 2-man tent, but it's just barely a spacious 1-man tunnel tent. It's exceptionally good in wind and rain conditions, perfect for the moorland. We've got our Vango Nightstar sleeping bag. We've got our tarp for underneath the tent. This is a DD hammocks dry bag, so I'm going to keep all of my spare clothes and socks and a fleece lined jumper in there in case we do get completely wet. We've got our sleeping mat. I'm going to try out the Snugpack jungle blanket here. It's an insulated blanket, nice and thin. You can see it packs down nice and compact as well, but one side of it is entirely waterproof. So we will definitely be able to try that out tomorrow. I'm going to bring 3 litres with me as well, which is actually a massive weight. I believe each litre of water equals a kilogram worth of weight. So we're going to go for a whole 24 hours out on the moors. I want to have plenty of clean drinking water with me, despite having to carry it all. So I better eat my spinach in the morning. We've got our Trangia 27 cookset with our bioethanol fuel. In case it gets incredibly cold in the night, I've got these hot hands body warmers. It's a chemical reaction. You just have to open it up, shake it up, and that activates it. It says keeps you warm up to 10 hours. I've used the hand ones and they work incredibly well. We've got 2 head torches. We've got my camping lantern. I'm going to take a poncho which will go over my backpack in case the weather gets really bad. I've got my Berghaus waterproof boots alongside some wool socks. But I'm also going to apply some of this fabric tape to my heels to hopefully negate any blisters that may be incoming, because a blister is a no-go on a hike. We've got a bag of yummy trail mix, which is peanut M&Ms alongside some honey roasted peanuts. High calorie, high energy, high sugar, and also amazingly delicious. We have got a battery pack for recharging some of our electronics. We've got the GoPro, which is you guys. We've got the GoPro tripod and also a little bag over there which contains spare batteries and a charger for those batteries, because it eats through batteries like you wouldn't believe. We've got my little firebox at the back there for our Trangia. My luxury item are cans of pre-mixed gin and tonic, because we're real fancy like. Going to go camping on the moors, and I wouldn't mind a little tipple before bed after I've set up my camp. But that's going to get sacrificed for depending on how much room we have left in our pack. So let's see if this fits in the pack. Right everyone, we are loaded up like a pack horse. Look at the state of that thing. Everything fits in the pack, which is always a good sign. That feels relatively good. Yes, there is a fair amount of gear in there, but whenever you go camping, there is going to be. You're always going to need a tent or shelter of some description. You're going to need your sleeping bag and whatnot. It all adds up, takes up loads and loads of space. So we've done as best we can. All we can do now is get a good night's sleep, eat our spinach in the morning, just like Popeye, to get our muscles ready for a whole day's worth of hiking and exploration across the moor. I can't wait. See you tomorrow. Having travelled south from Belstone, we're now out on the moors. Stunningly clear today. We're very lucky. Shaggy old things. Hello you lot. Just just had to cross this really swampy part. We got waterproof boots on, all of us, but you still don't want to get your legs and all the rest of it wet and risk your socks becoming wet because you're just asking for blisters there. So I managed to pick across on the little tufts of swamp grass, which are quite rigid, save you falling in there. And Sharon and Kenton got to make their way across now. It is stunning up here. It's just like a scene out of Lord of the Rings. Massive, sweeping, open, sparse plains for miles and miles and miles as far as you can see. Absolutely idyllic. Dartmoor is the only place in England that you're legally allowed to wild camp, which is tragic really. We've got so many beautiful national parks. It's such a shame that we're not allowed to pitch up a tent anywhere without landowners' permission, but that's the way it is. It makes Canada and the US seem mighty appealing. Kenton is leading our expedition today. Behind us we have Belstone Tor. We're headed up the side of Oke Tor now. Bit of an incline, we're going to be out of breath by the time we get up there. Here we go. That red and white marker up there signs the boundary of a military zone. There are 3 military training areas on Dartmoor where they could be firing blanks or live rounds, so you have to check on the website which areas are active during the day and stay out of that area if you're going to go across Dartmoor, because you don't want to get shot. We've got the gorge just in the valley to the left of us, and up on the top of that tor you'll see a little hut and a flagpole which is for the military personnel. So in the area where they're training they'll fly a red flag to let the hikers know that this area is currently active for training. So stay out. We've made our way up the bank of the ridge line between Oke Tor and Belstone Tor, and just to our left now we've got Steeperton Gorge, which is just running alongside here. Lovely river running right the way through it. It's very, very pretty. Well worth the hike. I think in a minute we're going to head back the way we came, but along the ridge line between the tors to get a good view over the top of the moor and back down on the valleys either side. It's lush. Magic. It's quite blustery up here, and I'm using a foam wind cage for the GoPro, so hopefully the audio will be a lot better during this trip. I'm excited to see later on when I check back through the footage. Hopefully it's not muffled, and hopefully it's not full of that classic wind noise. We shall see. It's going to be a good try out this. We've come back on ourselves now from the gorge, which is down to the south. Been walking north along the ridge line back to Oke Tor, which is right here. It's a very pretty rocky outcrop. I'm going to explore on that thing. See if we can climb up this line. Oh, that's very pretty. Is that the wind? Yeah. Oh, that's lush, isn't it? Is this your spot? Is that?
I think it's not. I think this is where we're camping.
Yeah, this is lovely, isn't it? It's not that flat, but there are little pockets here and there which are. I'm just going to climb up the side and see what I can see, because I know that the view up here is going to be lush. Oh wow. Side of this rocky outcrop is beautifully calm, but here, woo, that's so strong. Going to be really interesting to hear the audio back from this, because this is extreme wind. Hopefully this little foam cage is doing its job to keep that wind noise down. Oh no, my hat! Right, we got to go get that now. Just to recap, we started off down there in the valley, which is where the village of Belstone is, and we've travelled up through the valley. Over there is Belstone Tor. We are currently on top of Oke Tor. We went all the way up the valley towards Hounds Tor, which is the one with the building up there and the flagpole. Past there along the ridge line, overlooking Sheepleton Gorge, and we've come back along the ridge line here to Oke Tor, which I believe is where we're going to set up camp tonight. It's absolutely beautiful. The other side of this outcrop of rock, it's unbelievably windy. We're really high up. You have high winds on the moors anyway, zooming across all of these expansive plains, and they just batter all the high points, all the tor tops. But with these rocky outcrops, we've got such a nice little tucked in sheltered space just behind it where there's no wind at all. It's a bit like being in the eye of the hurricane. Fingers crossed if we can find somewhere nice and flat and set up the tents, this might be home tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a cracking little voyage so far. I mean, look at this. Look. Hold on to my hat this time. What's not to love? All that walking needs a treat. I got some coconut macaroons. You a fan of coconut, Sharon? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to need one of these then. Excellent. Fanta? Macaroon?
Oh yes, please.
There you go, my mate. There you go. Cheers. Need a bit of protein as well. Jack Link's beef bar. There we go. Beefy. Sharon and Kenton are just setting up their tents. I fancy a cup of coffee, so this is a lovely spot for the Trangia, I reckon. Set up and get a brew on. I took 3 litres of water. I've used about half a litre, sipping it on that trail, so I've got plenty left for the rest of this time. Mixed up 50% some strong espresso coffee, instant coffee with coffee cream. So it should just be ready to go. Of course I have got a little bit of Bailey's to put in there as well, because we're on a camping trip and we want to make it fancy. Bit of Bailey's in there. Handsome. Irish coffee on the moors. Cheers. Lovely. Oh, that went down so good. Sharon and Kenton have set up their tents already, and I'm tempting fate a little bit by not having mine set up before the rain's coming in, so I think we should get on there. Let's do it. The tent is set up. The only problem being on a tour is that there's barely 1.5 to 2 inches of soil. My tent pegs are going down just a tiny bit and then hitting granite. I think we should be pretty sheltered tonight. The wind direction is coming in from over that way, so hopefully we've got that rocky outcrop keeping the worst of it off. But we shall see. Might be in for a bit of a blusterous night. Have a look. That's about as far in as I can get him. Oh well, is what it is. Tenton's brought along an awesome bit of kit I've not even seen before. It's a little mini air pump. Tap the button. Look at the size of that. That's awesome. And there. Ready? Try and keep it up the cowpat.
Look at the pitch change when it's coming like a little bit.
When he starts to struggle.
Yeah. There you go.
That is brilliant. Love it. Thanks very much. Well, 3 puffs as opposed to 30. I'll take that any day of the week. That is awesome. Tonight we are using all Vango gear. So we've got the Vango Banshee 200 tent, which is a good choice for the moor because it's a tunnel tent and it's exceptionally wind resistant. Nice and easy to put up. Good choice for a solo camper. Wouldn't want to go with a one-man tent, it's just too ridiculously small in there. Banshee 200 is just about as small as you can get away with and still be relatively comfortable and have somewhere to put your gear. And we've got a Vango Nightstar sleeping bag, which has been really good. I'm just going to double up on my jumpers because it's getting a little bit chilly. Gonna hang out for a little bit and then start some dinner. I'm certainly working up an appetite doing that hike today. Kenton. Got the dinner on if you Kenton?
Yep.
Yeah. You guys partial to a gin and tonic?
No, I'm not.
Not? Sharon?
No, I've got some. I got a lager actually.
You got, oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't like tonic water.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's alright with a bit of gin in it though.
I just have gin neat.
Yeah. Bypass the filler. Yeah. Cheers. Oh, it's lovely. Right then, it's time to get some dinner on tonight. I was up till midnight last night prepping this, and it's a simple recipe that's one of my favourites. It's chicken, chorizo and potato stew. It's super hearty, smoky, spicy. Keep you going. And here's the recipe for you. Check it out. There we are, straight in there, over our Trangia, heat it through, and then we've got dinner ready to go. Didn't bring any plates or bowls or anything with me today. I'm just going to have it straight off the saucepan. Look at that big bowl of goodness. Wonderful. Pretty scenic spot for a bit of dinner too, isn't it? Looks lush. Cheers everyone. such an easy and flavorful recipe. So simple. You don't have to use an instant pot pressure cooker either. I just used that last night so I could cook it quickly. It's just as good out of a cast iron pot or a Dutch oven. Oh, that is seriously good camping food. This one's seriously clean bowl. Got barely any washing up to do. That was stunning. Ah, that meal was divine. Just what you need on a camp out, especially as the temperature's getting down, and it's quite surprising how low the temperature has dropped. We're down to about 9 degrees, but it feels a lot colder. So a big belly full of chorizo stew that's been piping hot warm through is just what the doctor ordered. It's delicious. Check out that recipe, it's a real good one. Now all we've got to do is hang out until the sun goes down. On the crest of the hill the wind gets right up. We're real sheltered where we are. I don't know whether you can hear that billowing away, but our sunset is right along there. You just get patches when the cloud goes over and it get a clear spell of sky, and it just illuminates the whole valley and all the tors. It looks amazing. Hopefully we get some clear skies and then we can see those beautiful yellows and oranges. I gotta find myself a secluded spot so I can have a quick pee. Ha, look at the sheepies. Got the spring lambs. Don't jump, mate, don't jump. No, Billy. I assume he's called Billy. He looks like a Billy. What a magic place Dartmoor is. Woo! Makes you feel alive there. I love it. Look at the views, 360 degrees around. It is just stunning. Look at the state of the wrinkles in all these rocks. Almost looks man-made, that. Obviously it isn't, but it's got some kind of structure to it. Beautiful. We've got some belted visitors tonight encroaching on the camp. Don't want these guys mooing or rubbing up against your tent. Look at them all. Big fluffy moose lumps. They got very nice go faster stripes, haven't they? I expect we've got that one sheltered bit that they were all coming to. Look at a tiny little thing. Let's go get an aerial view of them. Oh yeah, nice he is. Aren't they lovely? Big old fluffy things. Gentle beasts, they're not so bad, but you don't want them rolling on you in the middle of the night because they're all curious at the tent. There's a couple over here, there's a mum and a calf. And the calf is far too big to be going after the milk, and the mum's getting proper peeved off with it. They keep butting heads. Hilarious. Oi, that's enough of that. We've all had a drink. Yeah. Jumpers on, insulated jacket, and I'm still getting a little bit chilly. Adhesive body warmers, we'll give them a go. These are one of the big patches that you can stick on your front and your back. I've used the hand warmers before and they've worked really well. It's called hot hands, they last for about 10 hours so they say. Just stick them on you. To activate them, let's give them a shake up. Whatever's inside them activates, and then you can stick them directly to your clothes, but not on your bare skin, because they'll burn you. I'm gonna have one right there. Go on then, you geek burgers, get out of here. Stop sniffing at me tent. Look at him though. Gorgeous. Yeah, I think we're going to be hearing some strange noises tonight if these lot keep farting about. Well, we've had a fantastic hike and a great hangout, accompanied by some whiskey and some gin and tonics after our lovely meal. So we just finally got settled in our tent because it started spitting down with rain a little bit. And we are pretty much in the middle of a herd of cows. They all came over, all the belted getaways, and have settled right upon us. So we may be in for a bit of an eventful night. I'm going to see if I poke my camera out the door of my tent to show you how close they are. Yeah, standing guard right there. And to the other side of me, just behind, within about 8 foot, we've got a couple of calves and a whole load of adult cattle just standing guard just in case. So we will see. Hopefully we don't get curious cows trampling us in the night, but you never know. I'm just gonna zip up everything, get myself as comfy as possible, chill out, not worry about it, and see how things pan out. But fingers crossed I see you lot in the morning, and hopefully by that I mean I won't be flat as a cow pat. Night everyone. Well, I knew the night was going to be eventful. I was fast asleep and I had something pulling on one of the lines of the tent, or what felt like it, and a big snuffling noise. And then that got steadily worse. And then I heard a rip, and one of the cows has eaten a hole in the side of my tent in order to get to my stew, what was left of it. Look at this. That damn moor snuffled a hole right in the side of me Banshee tent and stole my stew, and also had a good munch of the bag. Unbelievable. Yep. For goodness sake. What are you going to do, huh? Well, hopefully I don't get disturbed again, but they've cost me a tent, the buggers. Oh well. Morning. Well, I knew it was going to be an eventful night, but I didn't account on being attacked by cows and having my stew, which I was saving for breakfast, stolen by one of your buggers. I mean, absolutely outrageous. I can't believe it. Which one of yours was it? Hey? I bet it was you, wasn't it? The baby one. I'm outraged. I mean, you absolute mother f***ing piece of goddamn. I hope you all get turned into lasagnas, you buggers. I mean, look at it. Look. You snuffled down there and ate that hole in my tent. For f***'s sake. Hello? What do you mean we're getting complaints for profanity on the show and we want to keep it family friendly? Oh, issue an apology? Here at Camp Cookout Adventures, we would like to formally and genuinely apologise for my outburst about the cow eating a hole in my tent and also stealing my breakfast. Emotions ran high, and unfortunately they resulted in some regrettable actions. We've taken action to ensure that this show remains family friendly so everybody can enjoy, and I also promise that such a mistake will never happen again. Speaking to Kenton this morning about the overnight burglary, he said it has been known for foxes to sniff out and steal from tents in the night, especially if you've got something that smells particularly tasty, and it does make somewhat more sense than a curious cow. So I think my blame of the theft of my breakfast this morning has gone on the wrong culprit. I think what we've actually got on our hands is a very sneaky Mr. Fox. He didn't get very far though, because I was quick on the mark and I got back that stew bag. So it was all for naught. He can only be charged for vandalism of my tent. The only other thing I brought, which is going to have to do for a carnivorous breakfast today, is just this canned chopped pork and ham. It's a little bit like spam, it's a little bit like bacon, it's a little bit like hot ham. It's a little bit like an amalgamation of probably all the bits of the stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want. But it's good for camping because it comes in a can. Can you hear that bird song? It's a skylark. It's a tiny little bird. It hovers high in the sky and sings away. Cheers everybody. All packed up and on the move. Next stop, Belstone Tor. Right out that way. There you go, military marker outlining the border of the training grounds. There was no red flags up luckily, so we survived the night. So here we are at Belstone Tor, or Belstone Tor. It's a much higher elevation than Oke Tor far behind us, which is where we camped out, and it's quite impressive. There's much larger rocky outcrops here too. Almost looks like brickwork, doesn't it? Flush, isn't it, Sharon? Almost at the very peak of the thing now. Let's get a panoramic view up there. It is rather special. So cool, what a beautiful place. Right, onward. The rain's just gonna beat us. That's Belstone Village down there. Thank you guys for tuning in to Camp Cookout Adventures once again. This has been a sensational first trip to Dartmoor, despite that thieving little varmint stealing my stew. We gotta get back home. Please help me support this channel. You can click the subscribe button, it really helps out. Hit up that notification so that you don't miss any adventures in the future, and I really hope to see you again. Cheers everybody, till next time.